Hey everyone, Brent here with Candybox. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick look at our new custom quote sync tool. We created this to solve for the fact that Salesforce native quote sync does not sync custom fields that you rely on every day. Things like ARR, implementation dates, any type of custom field that you would expect to sync over whenever you initiate a sync. That doesn't happen natively out of the box. We've encountered this so many times with clients that we decided to build a solution that we use with our own clients, and it's been so helpful to us that we figured we'd make it available to you on the AppExchange. And so I'm going to give you a quick demo how this works. The configuration for the tool is driven by two custom metadata types. So the first one is quote sync custom mappings. If you've ever used a tool like this, then you're probably familiar with some version of custom mappings. It's pretty simple. You just have a record where you indicate, I want the opportunity field having this API name to map to the quote field having this API name. We can create these mappings and indicate whether they're parent level mappings from opportunity to quote or line level mappings from opportunity product to quote line level. So pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy here. We also have another way that fields sync between opportunity and quote and opportunity product and quote line level. This is probably one of my favorite features of this app and was really the inspiration for creating the app. If you're familiar with Salesforce CPQ's twin fields feature, this works the same. It's called dynamic sync. And you can turn dynamic sync on at the parent level or the line level. It's very similar to CPQ's twin fields, which if you want to initiate a sync between two fields, really simple, just make sure that they have matching API names, and fields that have matching API names on corresponding objects will automatically sync. No configuration necessary. I'll give you a demonstration of how this works. So I've got an opportunity set up with some test fields that correspond to fields on the quote level. And we'll just turn on our Salesforce inspector show field API names so that we can see what's going on in the back end. So I've got on the opportunity level a field named test and one named test2, and also a field named amount2 that has a different API name than the amount field on the quote level. So again, I'll just show API names so that we can see what's happening on the back end. You can see that this amount field is the amount field that we've created this mapping for. So non-matching API names, we need a custom mapping to sync those. However, if the API names match, no configuration necessary, these fields are going to automatically sync. So we'll just go ahead and populate hello world onto our opportunity record. Click save, go over to our quote, let's refresh, and you'll see the values come right on over. Now I realize that we didn't change the value of amount, so we'll go ahead and change the value of amount so that you can see our custom mappings in action. Change that to 48. Let's go over to our opportunity, click refresh, and there's our value there, 48. So Salesforce out of the box quote sync works really one way. It works bidirectional and on the line level. Our tool gives you the ability to control the direction of the sync at both the parent level and the line level. So if we look at our quote sync settings here, we can see that we've got the ability to sync from the quote to the opportunity to the quote, bidirectional, or do not sync at all. And we have those same options available at the line level. So really neat feature here, gives you a ton of control over how your sync works. In addition to that, we've got a feature called field exclusions. So this serves really two purposes. The first purpose is going to be with dynamic sync turned on, maybe you have some fields that share API names, like the standard fields that come pre-populated, name, description, etc. You don't want those field values to automatically dynamically sync. You can just populate the API names of those fields in the corresponding exclusion input field, and then that field that will be excluded from the sync. So this also may apply to an implementation that existed before you installed this tool. You've got field API names that match between corresponding objects and you don't want to sync. no problem. Just populate the API name of that field here and sync will be turned off. I'll demonstrate that for you in just a second, but I want to outline another use case. Having field exclusions also gives you a bit more granular control over how your fields sync. So for instance, if you have bidirectional sync turned on and maybe you want a one-way sync on a particular field, no problem. You can force a one-way sync by excluding the API name of that field on either the opportunity or quote side of things. So we'll use our test 1 and test 2 fields as an example. So I'll grab the API name of our test 2 field, and we're going to go back over to our custom setting. We'll populate the API name in the opportunity fields to exclude and click save. Now what this does is it will allow the test 2 field to sync over to the quote, but not to the opportunity. So we'll just go ahead and demonstrate this. I'll change this value to testing and testing 2. Click save, come over to our quote and click refresh, and both values will push over. Now, if I change it back to hello world, we should see hello push over, but not world. So we'll go ahead and click refresh, and there it is. Hello is pushed over. Test 2 field did not sync because we've excluded it. So very useful feature for certain scenarios, certain use cases. There are a few other features that I would like to highlight. So we also have this enable delayed sync on parent, which is a useful tool for scenarios where you need to schedule a future sync due to things like delayed calculations at the parent level. Maybe you have some integrations that need to sync over and you need a future sync once you update your line level records. So enabling delayed sync on parent requires you to input a delay time, which is a number value, and a delay measure, which is either seconds or minutes. So if I set this to enable delayed sync on parent for 2 seconds, what will happen whenever I edit my quote line, a future job will be scheduled for 2 seconds into the future to trigger a sync at the parent level. In addition to this, we also have enable async update. Async update is very useful for orgs with a lot of record triggered flows. You know, sometimes these tools will run into errors. They will conflict with other processes. So setting your updates to happen asynchronously improves the efficiency of your save process and also helps you to navigate some of those record triggered flow errors that you may see with tools similar to this. We also have a disable custom mappings where you can just with a single click turn off all of the custom mappings that you've created. Also very useful for troubleshooting. Lots of features packed into this tool. Really excited to demo it for you. Hope that you found this demo useful and that you will enjoy using this tool as much as we have.